Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about angles and radian measure. In this first video, we're going to be looking at drawing angles in standard position. So first we're going to go through some vocabulary, and we're going to look at this image over here. So first thing we see with this angle we have in blue, and so that makes this angle right here, and we can also have an angle this direction. We have something that is called the initial ray. An initial ray is the ray where the measurement of the angle starts. And so we see that in blue right here. A terminal ray is the ray where the measurement of the angle stops. And so we see that up here. And standard position is when the vertex of the angle, which we see right here, is at the origin and its initial side lies on the positive x-axis. And we have something called positive rotation and negative rotation. So positive rotation is when the terminal side is rotated counterclockwise, and negative is when it's rotated clockwise. And so we see that in red right here. The positive rotation is when we start from the initial ray and rotate counterclockwise. And that is going the positive direction. If we're going the negative direction, we start the initial ray and go clockwise. That. And some other things to note is going around in this x and y axis. When you go a quarter of the way, so let's say my angle goes right here, that is 90 degrees. If you go halfway, that's 180 degrees. If you go 3/4 of the way, that's 270 degrees. And then a whole circle is 360 degrees. So when you go a full rotation, that's going to be 360 degrees. And it's going to be important to note when we go through and draw these angles. Another thing to note, if we were to go in the negative direction, this 270 would instead be negative 90 degrees, and then negative 180 degrees, negative 270 degrees, and then negative 360 degrees if we were to go in this direction. So let's go ahead and practice drawing some of these angles. So we're going to draw an angle with a given measure in standard position. So for this first one, I have 240 degrees. And something I'm going to note is that this first starting point is 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270 degrees, and then the full circle is 360 degrees. So I see for 240, I'm going to be somewhere between this 180 and this 270. So I need to see how much further past it is from the 180. So one thing I can do is to go ahead and do 240 minus 180. And I see it's going to be 60 degrees past that 180 mark. So I'm going to go past and go about 60 degrees. And so it's going to be somewhere around here. Because remember, this whole thing would be 90 to get to the 270. And so that's going to be my angle. And remember, right here is 60 degrees past the 180. Okay, next one, I want to draw 500 degrees. And so 500 degrees, I am going to go in the full circle, because remember this is again 0, 90, 180, 270, 360. So 500 is larger than this 360. So I'm going to be going more than one full rotation. And if I do 500 minus 360, I see it's going to be 120 degrees past, 140 degrees past the 360 mark. So that means I want to go one full rotation and then I want to go 140 past. So right here, I'm 90 past, but now I need to see how much further past 90 do I need to go. Well, 140 minus 90, I get 50 degrees. And so I want to go about 50 degrees past. Okay, and then this last one, I want to draw a negative 50-degree angle. And so now I'm going to be going in the counterclockwise direction. And so if I fill in what that is, that's 0. This is now negative 90, negative 180, and negative 270, and negative 360. And so negative 50 degrees is going to be somewhere between this 0 and negative 90. And so we can say it's somewhere about here.